Building effective partnerships with family is one of the most important things a teacher can do to help the child succeed. So what is your definition of a family? Families are diverse in many ways. Diversity can include age, education, gender, nationality, race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, and age. So diversity covers many things. We have many different types of families. We have families where there's a mom and a dad. We have families of different ethnicities. We have families that can be yours, mine, and ours. We can have grandparents raising children. We can have single mothers. We can have two dads or two moms. So sometimes you'll hear of something called the nuclear family. The nuclear family are two people who have been, for the first time, been married and are parents, and they have two biological or adopted children. 2/3 or 64% of all children live with two married parents, but variations exist. 1 out of 8 live with their step-parents or adoptive parents. Other family systems include mothers only, and that's about 24%. 4% of children live with their fathers. About 8% of the children live with their extended families, and about 2% live with their grandparents. So when you're thinking about the family, there are many ways to think about many different things and how this may affect the child. So one thing that we consider in a family is their religious beliefs. There are many things that one religion may play a part in where the other may not. We need to consider all types of religions when we are providing children with care. Culture is another thing that we need to consider. There are many, many different types of cultures. Remember when we spoke about Asian children, that they actually, out of respect, do not look at you in your face when you are talking to them, because that is their cultural heritage, and it is unacceptable for children of Asian descent to look at an older person in their face. Another thing is some religions or cultures do not want you to touch their child's head. Other cultures may have different beliefs that you need to learn about so that you can understand the child. Race and ethnicity. According to the Child Defense Fund in 2011, according to the race and ethnicity, the following statistics show that these children live with their mothers only. More than half of the Afro-American children, 28% of Latina children, 15% of white children, and 11% of Asian children. Statistics also show that twice as many Afro-American children, 6% of white children do not live with either parent. So the economical status of families also plays a big part in the families and you getting to know them. 62% of the children in two-part families have both parents in the workforce. 77% mothers and 89% of single fathers are in the workforce. There is an increase in stay-at-home moms. Children in single-parent homes are more likely to live in poverty. Children in African American, American Indian, or Latino homes are more likely to live in poverty. Mobility. How do we get around? Some families have cars. Some families use the bus. Some families are not able to get from one place to another very easily because they have a wheelchair or a walker or maybe crutches or a cane. Sexual orientation is something that sometimes we don't consider. A child with two dads, a child with two moms. So they are things that you must consider as well. So for Father's Day, if you're making that special gift for dad, maybe we could consider it not like Father's Day could be someone that's like a father to you, you could say, or Mother's Day, someone that is like a mother to you, which could include aunts and uncles. It could be anyone that has raised you. Family dynamics. What considerations would you need to make for this family? The family system theory views family members as interconnected parts. Each is influenced by others in predictable and reoccurring ways. Explained family behaviors is why they do what they do. Relationships to one another. Relationships to outside families. Explain how family functions as a system. The family system theory considers boundaries, roles. So if a mom is the head of the household, if the dad is the head of the household, the roles that they may have. So some people don't eat before supper or eat snacks when they get home, some may. Hierarchy, so who's really in charge? Climate, so a parent may work a different shift. So your climate at home is going to be different than a climate where when a child comes home, mom or dad or both are there to greet them. So what about the families with children with disabilities? How do you think that plays a part in the child? So the relationship and partnership between teachers and parents should be one of mutual respect and trust. It should be a two-way communication. There should be collaboration in how the child is raised or what is going on with the child. And then when a decision does need to be made, it is a shared decision and shared power. So we're going to negotiate conflict so that it's a win-win situation for all involved. So what are some family circumstances and challenges? Some children may be at risk, so they are typically referred to as children who have characteristics such as a disability or a life circumstance such as poverty that increases the likelihood that they will experience negative developmental and learning outcomes such as dropping out of school. So risk factors that affect families: poverty, single parenthood, low level of parent education, dysfunction, abuse, parents with mental illness, and illness themselves. So how can we promote effective two-way communication? We can create a welcoming environment. We can have informal conversations. We can share information daily or weekly on a basis depending on the age of the child. We can use assertive communication style when discussing delicate situations. We can have conferences, home visits, or use technology. Nowadays, a lot of child care centers are using technology as a way to inform parents of their child's, how the child has, what the child has eaten for the day, naps, and that type of thing, when their diapers are changed. Research shows that for more than 40 years of research, family engagement in schools and early childhood programs has a positive impact on the success of a child in schools and life. 4 key effective strategies for a good relationship with parents is to be very clear about your preferences, your ability to communicate, your ability to negotiate, and your willingness to change and learn. Remember that the parents are the first teachers of children, and they know their children better than you do. As a teacher, you cannot make any assumptions about families. Families are diverse. Families are not good or bad. Each is unique. Most families want the best for their children in regards to their circumstances. All families have strengths and challenges. It is not your right as a teacher to pass judgment. You may not agree with families at all times. You cannot reject a child's family and at the same time successfully care and educate the child.